My name is Tara Rush, and I'm using my power to dispel the traditional views of leadership and inspire a new generation of changemakers. The word power and the idea of power are so interesting because I think that when people describe it, they often give you a really narrow definition. So they either fall into the trap of gendering the definition and they use a really stereotypical masculine energy, or they sometimes describe it as something very aggressive. And as a woman who has worked in many male-dominated industries like automotive, beer, I think it's really important to show all the different ways and styles that power and leadership show up, because there are those moments where it's about being fearless and taking risks and being bold. And there are those moments where you have to walk into a room with big energy and huge confidence. But it's also really about the smaller moments too. And I think that's where there's so much magic, because it's the one-on-one relationships that you have with people where you're building trust and you're building that authentic relationship. And it's those small moments that get added up into influence. And it's that influence that creates the opportunity for progress and a true optimistic outlook and the conditions to actually create positive change. And at Audi of America, one of our biggest commitments is to drive progress for gender equity. And one of the most important roles I can play as a leader is to demonstrate and role model that non-gendered view of what power and leadership could look like for the women and the men that are around me now, and importantly, for that next generation of leaders and change makers that'll follow. I had this wonderful opportunity to attend a purpose workshop. And we, of course, talked about the great moments in your career and in your life, but we also talked about the most difficult moments. And those were the really rich discussions, because you talked about the moments where you felt like you failed or something went wrong. And of course, I think we all know those are where you get the best, richest learnings. And in the course of that process, it was really identifying what is that special thing about you that you throughout your entire life brought to the table in a way that was so unique and really spoke to what your internal power is. And after leaving that meeting, I was just so inspired that the best thing you can do as a leader is show up exactly who you are. And that was a huge turning point for me in my career. I think the one piece of advice I would give to people about unlocking your power and using it to actually harness change is that you have to focus on something that is beyond yourself. It can't be about you. The real power comes when you can identify something that will have a positive effect on so many people around you. And then you find the way to use your greatest strength to help bring that to life. Because if it's all about you, it's one small result. But if you find something that can affect the community of people around you, that's what's powerful. And that's what's unlocking true power. I'm Tara Rush, and I'm a change maker.